The chance for heavy rain and flooding make today a WRAL weather alert day. I'll show you our flood watch and how much rain we could see.
We're following 3 breaking stories right now. Anti-ICE protest. Demonstrators are rallying against North Carolina's new immigration law. What will be changing in sheriff's offices all across the state because of the law. Returning home. 2 Fort Bragg soldiers killed in the Middle East make their way back to the U.S. How they're being honored before they return to their families. And what we're learning from the independent autopsy of Nolan Wells.
Today is WRAL Weather Alert Day. A flood watch is in effect, and it will last throughout the day Thursday. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Ken Smith in for Chris Lovingood. We so appreciate your time. Let's get right to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with our 3rd Weather Alert Day, Elizabeth.
That's right, and we are likely to see another one tomorrow. This is a look at our weather maker right here, and you can see here where the front is, and there's some showers and thunderstorms developing along the front. This was much more dramatic yesterday and last night up into Virginia. We don't have any warnings along this line, and it's fairly narrow at the moment. We are starting to see a few isolated showers in our viewing area. We saw that starting to pop up in the 8 o'clock hour, and that really hasn't changed much. Just a little bit of light patchy rain, mainly in Halifax County. But you can see north of Roxborough, here comes that line. So in Roxborough, you're likely to see, or across Person County, going to start to see some of that heavier rain moving in probably in the next 2 hours or so. We do have the threat of some wind damage, mainly in our northeastern counties. We'll take a look at that. And flooding could be the biggest event that we see out of this system, especially late tonight and early tomorrow. There is a level 1 risk for severe storms in our northern counties. That's where we would have the best chance of some wind damage. It would be isolated, and maybe 1 or 2 instances in our southern counties. 2 to 4 inches of rainfall is likely today, tonight, and tomorrow. It starts in the north and gradually moves to the south. Take a look here at Futurecast. At noon, we're dealing with that mainly up into Virginia and potentially into Person County. But by 3 o'clock, mid-afternoon, we start to see that crossing the Virginia line and moving southward. During the evening commute, there's a small chance for some rain. The cold front continues to sink southward, but it doesn't really get cranked up across our area until much later, maybe midnight into the early morning hours tomorrow. But it does look like it could be quite heavy during the morning commute. There's 5 a.m., there's 7 a.m. So it looks like a very wet commute for us with some heavy downpours. As we head through the day tomorrow, the rain shifts southward. After lunchtime, a lot of it moves on out of the viewing area with a few lingering isolated showers. But because the front is going to stall over us, we could still have a chance of some showers and thunderstorms on both Friday and Saturday. Looking at a high today of around 90 degrees, but the rain that arrives tomorrow will cool us off considerably. I'll show you the big drop in temperatures coming up.
Elizabeth, thanks. Breaking news. A protest is underway outside the General Assembly. They are upset about a new law that passed last week, expanding North Carolina's cooperation with federal immigration agents. The law requires many state agencies to work more closely with ICE. WRAL state government reporter Caroline Yaffa is live at the legislative building. Caroline, people want to know what exactly would change if federal immigration officers ramp up enforcement here.
Exactly, Renee. Those are the questions that we've been getting from people in North Carolina. But first, I want you to take a look at the protest that's still going on behind me. Earlier this morning, there was singing, there were several speakers, and there were signs consisting of no more ICE. Organizers here are calling for changes to North Carolina's immigration policies. But the biggest change under the new immigration law that was passed last month in North Carolina is that if federal immigration officers come here and they want help, then several state agencies are required to help them. So I want you to take a look at this list of the state agencies that are now going to be giving that help. It's State Highway Patrol, SBI, the Department of Public Safety, the UNC system, the Department of Health and Human Services, and the Department of Adult Correction. So Republican lawmakers say the state should do more to support federal immigration enforcement efforts. They argue these strengths will strengthen public safety, that it helps ensure people in the country illegally who are charged with certain crimes are not released before federal immigration officials have a chance to take them into custody. But the protesters here today said that they disagreed.
We stand united against ICE, against mass detention, and against the unlawful detainment of our friends and neighbors.
I reached out to all the agencies on the list that I showed you, asking them how they're planning to implement these policies. And we'll have those answers coming up on WRAL this afternoon. Caroline Yaffa, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Laura Levine here in the WRAL Live Center. The dignified transfer of the U.S. service members who were killed in the Middle East is set to happen at any moment now. Right now, we do have a video of President Trump as he was preparing to board Air Force One to head to Dover, Delaware. Now, President Trump, during a gaggle with reporters before heading out, he said that he was heading to the ceremony to honor our heroes. He says it's one of the hardest things to do for me. It's one of the hardest things to do as a president, but it has to be done. He was asked what he would like to say to the family members of the fallen service members, and he says, I would like to say we love you, we love your child, and that's what they are to them. They're their children. So we know that the soldiers whose remains are being returned to their families today is First Lieutenant Tyler James Feen, 25 years old, from Hawaii, Private Isabella Gonzalez from Texas, Sergeant Angel Rampersad of New York, and Army Sergeant Michael Emmanuel Swinton of North Carolina. We know that Sergeant Swinton as well as Fien were both stationed at Fort Bragg. So, of course, we'll bring you those live reports as soon as that ceremony begins.
Laura, thanks. Well, we're following some breaking news this noon hour. A preliminary independent autopsy report on the body of Nolan Wells ruled the cause and the manner of death as undetermined, pending an investigation. Well, this morning at a news conference in Chicago, the legal team for the Wells family revealed the results. While the expert listed cause and manner could not be determined without further investigation, he also noted Wells's body was so decomposed by the time his second autopsy that he might have missed signs of bruising or abrasion. The report also outlined 7 key questions, including did he have water in his airway and was there any evidence of injuries to his neck?
It is our hope that our local authorities will do what they need to do, because us having the preliminary autopsy results and hearing nothing from them, it's heartbreaking.
We just want honesty. We want to know what happened to our son, because the things that you're telling us, that's not the character of our son. We know our son. I understand, our children would do things that, that would kind of dumbfound us sometimes, but the things that we're being told, that wasn't Nolan.
Well, the Jackson County coroner also performed an autopsy on the body of the 18-year-old football player. Those results have not yet been released, as the coroner's office is waiting on the toxicology report from the medical examiner's office to be completed.
A man charged with holding a woman and 3 children hostage overnight in Raleigh is due in court this afternoon. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was at the scene last night outside a home on Pin Oak Road that is just off New Hope Road. Police cleared the scene just after 2:30 this morning. Court documents show Don Von Privet is facing charges including kidnapping, assault on a woman, and robbery. Raleigh police are investigating after a man who was shot walked into a convenience store. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker around 3 a.m. at the Speedway on Jones Sausage Road. Investigators believe the man's wounds were from a shotgun. Officers are still searching for the shooter. The man is expected to be okay.
Wake school leaders say they're working to find out who is responsible for building 3 schools decades ago that are now deemed structurally unsafe. WRAL's Ali Kadlamar says why these findings could result in legal and financial consequences.
Wake school leaders say staff are combing through records trying to figure out who built Davis Drive and 2 other elementary schools nearly 30 years ago. Repairs are underway at the 3 elementary schools, and now emergency repairs on those schools are expected to cost $5.6 million. At Davis Drive and Creech Road, repairs are scheduled to be done 3 days before students return to class. At Durant Road, a year-round school, students will have to move to Abbott's Creek Elementary until August 17th. If work isn't done on time, leaders say the plan is to burn through bank days and teacher work days, then move students to other locations. Superintendent Robert Taylor says the repairs are extremely important.
We'll always err on the side of safety, and so we accept whatever the cost will be for that and the disruption that it may make, but safety of students has always been paramount for me, and they cannot learn if they're not safe.
And we're asking asking district leaders these questions you see on your screen. Who is responsible for building these 3 elementary schools that were deemed unsafe? And did they build other schools in the district? Now, the district says they are working to find those answers as well. Reporting in Cary, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
The initial demolition of a church in Pitt County is complete after the structure partially collapsed, rupturing gas lines. No one was inside and no one was hurt, but about 24 nearby residents were evacuated as a precaution. Neighbors say the church had been leaning for nearly a year and the congregation relocated some time ago.
Today, the first of 2 giant turbines will arrive at the new Person County Energy Complex in Roxborough. Duke Energy says the plant will use combustion and steam turbines to generate electricity. The company says that will increase efficiency. The turbine is expected to arrive later this morning. Cary town leaders are working to make changes after a recent state audit. That report detailed years of financial misconduct and a toxic workplace culture tied to former town manager Sean Stiegel. We've been asking town council members how much responsibility they are taking for this and what role they will play in fixing the problems. The audit lists recommendations for how leaders can move forward.
A rising senior at Barton High School is working to complete one of the toughest tasks in open water swimming. 17-year-old Laura Lee Schmidt is attempting to swim the English Channel. Now, if she achieves the goal, she will become one of the few swimmers in the world who has completed the Triple Crown of open water swimming. Laura Lee is a member of the Marlins of Raleigh swim team. Last year, she completed the Kauai Channel, a swim that took more than 19 hours through one of the world's most challenging stretches of open water in the Pacific.
I don't have to worry about doing a specific stroke or beating a time standard or beating another person to the wall in a race. I'm just out there by myself.
Incredible. Laura Lee is set to start her English Channel swim on August 4th, and we'll all be rooting for her for sure.
Yeah, way to set a goal. Can't wait.
Absolutely. So next at noon, the Louvre reopens after a brazen daytime heist a year ago. What's still missing as the famed museum welcomes back visitors?
Catastrophic flooding. The same weather system headed our way dumped a significant amount of rain on parts of West Virginia and other parts of the Midwest. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will let us know how this weather system will affect us.
And today is World Brain Day. Hear the story of how technology helped a mom learn to drive again after suffering a stroke.
Coming up next, sea storms moving in with WRAL's exclusive Dual Doppler 5000, sponsored by the WRAL Weather app. Download now for live radar.
Welcome back. Ousted Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife are due back in a New York federal courtroom today. Prosecutors and defense lawyers are seeking a June 2027 trial date. Today's procedural hearing will address evidence disclosure, material classification, and pretrial deadlines. The Maduros both face narco-terrorism charges following their arrest during a U.S. military raid in Caracas back in January. They are in a federal prison in Brooklyn while awaiting trial. The first shipment of a $100 million U.S. aid package has arrived in Cuba. The plane brought hygiene kits and prepackaged food for up to 700 Cuban families. The State Department has partnered with Catholic Relief Services and to distribute the packages through churches.
The Apollo Gallery at Paris's Louvre Museum opened its doors today for the first time nearly a year after a brazen daytime heist. The collections and precious jewels that it once displayed have been removed. The Paris Museum increased security with new surveillance cameras and anti-intrusion systems. 7 of the historic crown jewels are still missing, and the alleged mastermind behind the theft still at large. 4 people are in custody, though, but refuse to name the mastermind behind the heist, saying they fear their families will face retaliation. The number of active and inactive satellites in space has more than doubled in recent years. Now, the Federal Communications Commission is considering new rules designed to help prevent satellite collisions in low Earth orbit. The proposal would require satellite operators to share real-time tracking data, giving space traffic managers a better picture of what's in orbit. The rules are also reigniting a debate over whether the FCC or the Commerce Department should oversee space traffic.
The intense heat doesn't just affect how you feel, it can put a strain on your car's windshields. Meteorologist Chris Michaels shows us how they can crack under pressure when the temperatures rise in today's Ask the Meteorologist.
Whether it's summer heat or intense summer heat, we've seen it all. We've seen 45 days at or above 90 degrees, 25 of those at or above 95 degrees, 6 of those at or above 100 degrees. So, yeah, it's a whole lot of heat in our summer so far. According to Safelight, you've got 2 layers of glass on your car windshield. There's a little plastic layer that bonds them in between. So your outer layer of glass is obviously going to take the most of the beating, especially from the sun this time of year. So when you get a chilly rain that falls onto that hot car windshield, there's some uneven expansion in the glass, leads to tension, weakness, and eventually some cracks, even if you don't have anything hit the windshield. So your best bet is to avoid parking in direct sunlight. Try not to blast the AC right away, and try not to wash with really cold water, as that could too create some tension. So at least we get a little bit of a break from the heat. In addition to these rain chances, high temperatures may only be at or below 80 degrees for the next 3 afternoons.
Chris, thank you. Storms are causing catastrophic flooding in West Virginia. That's prompting a statewide emergency. Look at this. Storms dumped upwards of 5 inches of rain in about 6 hours in parts of the state. And you can see in this video, vehicles are partially submerged. The storms were powerful enough to leave a highway sign hanging off that bridge. The state of Ohio also hit hard, where tornadoes were reported. That same storm system is moving our way, Elizabeth. What can we expect from that?
So here it is right now. Of course, you can see it's still hovered not too far from West Virginia, but the most of it has passed by. Notice we do have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning, and it looks like that's going to be just to the north of our viewing area. So we're going to be watching that closely. We haven't seen severe weather with this so far this morning, but there was a lot of severe weather along this front last night as it moved through Virginia. We'll zoom in here, and you can see a couple of counties right around Danville and again just north of Person County. Right now it looks like that is mostly moving off to the east, but eventually it'll start to move to the south. So we do have a level 2 risk for severe storms in our northern counties for today. And again, we're starting to see some of those cells with the ability to produce some wind damage. Also over here between Enfield and Roanoke Rapids, we're looking at just a little light patchy rain, and we'll go back here toward Roxborough. From Roxborough northward on up toward Virginia, we're seeing some scattered rain, but the cell that's producing the wind damage is going to be right here just north of Danville. And as you can see, it's mostly sliding off to the east. If a warning is posted for Person County, we will let you know right away. Right now, it just looks like it would be straight line winds, and you can see Roxborough is in that level 2 risk, and that stretches all the way through Warrenton and over toward Roanoke Rapids. From the Triangle area northward, it's a step down, just a level 1 risk for severe storms. But again, we could have some trees down in any part of the viewing area. It really looks like flooding is going to be the main issue that we have with this front coming through. We'll start to see some very heavy rain in our northern counties, and gradually that sinks southward over the next 12 hours all the way through our viewing area. 2 to 4 inches of rain are likely with this system, and in our eastern counties it could be that we see some pockets that are heavier than that. At 2 o'clock you can see the storms right there parked along the Virginia line. At 5 o'clock, some rain around Durham. So if you're headed from Durham maybe westward, you could be running into some rain during the evening commute. At 7 o'clock, some scattered showers. But it gets intense overnight tonight. Look at this. 5 a.m., some very heavy rain across our area, and that is likely to continue through the morning commute. Once we get past lunchtime, the axis moves southward and gradually moves on out. And we could still have a few isolated showers during the evening commute, but it looks like the morning commute tomorrow could be really messy for us. We could see overall between now and late on Thursday into Friday, anywhere from 1 inch to 4 inches of rain showing up on the models. It's breezy, warm, and muggy right now, 88 with our dew point sitting at 70. And we're looking at much cooler temperatures when we see the system roll through tomorrow, 77 on Thursday. We have Tropical Storm Bertha. The 11 o'clock advisory has winds at 50 miles per hour. There are tropical storm warnings in effect with those 50-mile-per-hour winds. That storm will move into Texas and dissipate. We're looking at the cool air that arrives tomorrow, lasting well into the weekend, but we do, of course, have the potential for some storms lasting into Saturday. We'll look more at that coming up.
All right, look forward to that, Elizabeth. Well, Shaw University housing new at 5 months after Dorm 5 forced Shaw University students out of campus housing. Some families say they're still scrambling. WRAL investigates why one parent says her son paid for a dorm room he may not get. That's new at 5.
Plus, cyclospora investigation. Think the FDA cleared Taylor Farms as a source of the outbreak? Not exactly. What investigators actually ruled out and what you should know as you head to the store. New at 5.
Happening now in a WRAL Live Center. If you are a loyal Chick-fil-A customer, you may want to listen to this because Chick-fil-A is now alerting customers of a data breach for its rewards program. All of this information coming as those letters were sent out today. And according to the data breach notification, it says that it includes several states, including the state of North Carolina. The information that may have been accessed includes customers' names, email addresses, Chick-fil-A One membership numbers, mobile pay numbers, and QR codes. The last 4 digits of payment card numbers and Chick-fil-A gift card balances. They say that they regret that this incident occurred and apologize for any inconvenience. They say it happened between June 17th and June 19th. Anyone with questions can call Chick-fil-A's call center.
All right, Laura, thanks. Well, just how many people in North Carolina need financial help, whether it's housing, food, or utility payments? The cost of living is one of the most talked about topics in the country right now. 5 News Side's Alex Littlehills dug through the numbers and found out how many people in the Triangle may be struggling.
Speaking. How can I help you?
WRAL is taking you inside North Carolina's 211 call center, a hotline staffed by the United Way, pointing callers to resources on where and how they can get help.
Is this your first time reaching out to 211?
WRAL looked through months and years of call data. We found the number of housing and shelter calls for the Triangle hit a new high for the first 6 months of a calendar year, almost 10,000 calls in the first half of 2026. The numbers have continued to rise steadily since 2023. 211 managers say they can't say for certain how many of the calls are because of increased familiarity with the hotline itself, but that cost of living challenges are undeniably one reason why.
You know, I get to see firsthand, or rather hear firsthand, what people are calling about. So a lot of them, you know, might have been in the hospital and they work a job that's hourly. And so because they're not able to work, they can't make money.
Plus, what do the numbers say about rent assistance and utility assistance here in the Triangle? Well, we talk about those numbers later tonight. Reporting, I'm Alex Littlehales, WRAL News.
A federal judge approving Anthropic's settlement to pay $1.5 billion to a group of authors. Now, the authors filed suit after learning that Anthropic used their books to train its Claude AI model. It alleges the company illegally downloaded pirated copies of their books. Now, under the settlement, each author will receive roughly $3,000, which some say is not enough, so they filed their own separate lawsuits.
Pet owners can fill common dog and cat medications at over 9,000 CVS locations across the country. Available options include antibiotics, allergy medications, as well as flea and tick treatments. Automatic refills and prescription synchronization will be available for certain medications, while others may be available for home delivery. The medical director for a veterinary emergency group says the future is looking optimistic for pet medicine.
Hopefully 5-10 years in the future, everywhere has pet medicine, the same as it has human medicine now, and we all get to use the same resources.
Publix, Costco, Walmart, and Walgreens also offer pet prescriptions. World Brain Day. Today is a day set aside to raise awareness of brain injuries like stroke. One survivor explains how technology is helping her to recover.
Also, social media ban. France joins a list of countries restricting children 50 and under for having accounts, with a few exceptions. We'll share them. As we head to break, here's a look at the winning lottery numbers right there on your screen. Welcome back once again. Today is a WRAL weather alert day, but don't expect a lot of storms during the day.
And most of those will be north of the triangle. They will gradually shift southward into the rest of the area tonight and tomorrow. Let's get the latest from meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Looks very stormy in Virginia, and that's going to make its way down here, right?
It definitely does. And boy, they had a pretty rough day yesterday and night last night with some strong thunderstorms. But let's go ahead and zoom in. You can see this yellow box. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. And this is the cell that these warnings are for. And you can see it mostly traveling east. This particular cell isn't diving southward. So of course, our county that is bordering this is Person County. So Roxborough right here. Roxborough looks pretty dry on the camera right now. I'll show it to you, but there could be some scattered showers. As long as this stays to the north, nothing to worry about. But if Roxborough goes under a warning or any part of Person County, we'll let you know right away. This definitely looks like it will be straight line winds, but certainly could knock down some trees. In the meantime, the rest of this cell, the rest of this front continues to very slowly sink southward, and it will drop in across our area, affecting the triangle overnight and especially during the morning commute through lunchtime tomorrow. So we do have a severe threat in terms of wind damage, mainly north of the triangle, and then the flood watch affects the entire area, and that lasts all the way through late tomorrow. The yellow shaded area, including Roxborough, does include the area where we'd more likely have some damaging winds, but any part of the viewing area could see it. Most of us are under a level 1 instead of level 2 risk. 2 to 4 inches of rain, though, with this system, and the flood watch goes into effect at different times today across our viewing area, but lasts all the way through the end of the day on Thursday. We'll take another quick look at Futurecast right now. Of course, looking at those storms up into Virginia. Notice they start to drop southward. We could have some rain during the evening commute, but watch the morning commute in particular. That's 2 a.m., that's 5 a.m., and then there's 7 a.m. So it could be really messy for us tomorrow morning. Make sure you tune into our morning newscast and we'll help walk you through it. In the meantime, we'll talk more about the cooler temperatures that come with this.
All right, Elizabeth, while we're on the subject, millions of Americans are drying out after a midweek washout. Severe summer storms producing heavy rain, tornadoes, flash flooding in Tennessee to New England. Also, as NBC's Erin McLaughlin reports, people along the Gulf Coast are bracing for another potential super soaker. Of course, we're talking about Tropical Storm Bertha.
Another round of intense summer storms from the Northeast to the Midwest. Fierce winds, rain, and even tornadoes touching down in multiple states. Twin funnel clouds spotted in Kentucky and lightning striking right next to a twister. Homes destroyed. Farther east, at least 3 tornado reports in New Jersey.
Look at that, man. It shot through.
The twister snapping trees and sending debris onto this highway. One tree even landing on top of a car. And a waterspout forming in the stormy sea off the coast. Flash flooding creating chaos in West Virginia, with first responders making multiple water rescues, including at this Walmart parking lot, as the heavy rain continued elsewhere, pounding New York City.
The rain is really coming down. The radar shows that lightning is on the way, and we need to take cover.
And floodwaters causing chaos for drivers in the area. One New Jersey man even had to climb on top of his car. And at airports, a major travel headache Tuesday.
I guess I'm just hanging out at the airport for a little while.
Thunderstorms fueling ground stops with hundreds of flights canceled or delayed for hours.
I have never been stranded. We can't get a flight home till Thursday at 6 a.m.
Oh, boy, that was Erin McLaughlin reported. Now, as we face the threat of more severe storms today, stay connected with the WRAL weather app. You'll get important alerts right to your phone, so be sure to turn on those notifications.
Today is World Brain Day. It raises awareness about different neurological conditions. Samsung is introducing a new AI-powered assistant to help people make more sense of their health data. The tool is fully integrated into Samsung Health. It offers guidance on lifestyle changes, pulling data from your phone, Galaxy Watch, or Smart Ring. Samsung claims the health assistant can detect signals and patterns that you might not be aware of, but it will not offer medical advice nor suggest treatments. Meta is testing an AI bedtime story app called Story Kit. It generates stories with custom characters, settings, lessons, and music. Meta is testing the app in select countries to see whether parents like it. A spokesperson says it uses AI safety filters with no social media features and is only available to users over the age of 18.
Well, France is now the first country in the European Union to ban social media for children under a certain age. The new bill restricts anyone under the age of 15 from using social media platforms, as well as banning the use of cell phones in high schools. The ban will not impact children's access to online encyclopedias and educational or scientific directories. The ban comes as several families have sued social media platforms over teen suicides, claiming children taking their own lives are linked to harmful social media content. Well, a new sleep study is shining a light on how brighter days can affect your sleep. Researchers at the University of Manchester found brighter and more consistent light exposure during the day could be linked to higher quality sleep. The study found people who spent more time in brighter daytime light tended to fall asleep and wake up earlier compared to people with less exposure to light. And those with more regular daytime light exposure experienced deeper and healthier sleep.
We're looking at the potential for severe storms. This red box is a tornado warning, but it's north and west of our viewing area. Here's Roxborough, and of course, this is Halifax County, Virginia. However, Mecklenburg County, Virginia, here where South Hill is in part of our viewing area. This warning is in effect until 1 o'clock this afternoon, so we'll be watching this cell right here as it moves eastward, potentially affecting Mecklenburg County. We'll be back in just a few minutes with more.
Welcome back. We're going to take you to the coast. Here's a live look at Carolina Beach. Still a lot of people there on the sand enjoying their beach day, although it's looking very overcast and likely rain will be headed their way at some point. You're watching WRAL News, available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device. The widow of Malcolm Jamal Warner is discussing her legal battle against the late actor's mother over his estate. Warner, who's best known for playing Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, died 1 year ago in an accidental drowning. He is survived by his wife, Tanisha, a 9-year-old daughter, and his mother, Pamela Warner. Under the Warner Family Trust that was established in 1996, before he was married and had a daughter, the actor left most of his assets to his mother. The actor's widow says they were working to change the trust before his death. She also claims Warner did not honor their prenup and that she is owed more than $1 million.
Well, terrifying video from California shows a colossal great white shark near a group of kids playing in the ocean. NBC's Liz Croyd spoke to the photographer who captured the chilling video and explains why experts say this is becoming the summer of shark sightings.
A shocking video off the coast of Southern California. A 10-foot great white shark spotted dangerously close to a group of children swimming north of Los Angeles. The kids seen smiling and even waving to the drone camera, seemingly unaware that the massive predator was just feet away.
I did get nervous. My heartbeat did go a little higher.
Carlos Gauna took the terrifying video from about a mile away.
I'm searching the shores, and this particular shark came from the depths, and I saw it near the swimmers. They definitely didn't have any idea. They waved at the drone.
The video highlighting what experts say is one of the sharkiest summers in a decade off the California coast, driven by an El Nino weather pattern that's warming up the ocean waters, leading to more shark sightings, including incidents like this. A heart-stopping moment in June as a curious shark circled a surfer sitting on his board. But despite the uptick, Chris Lowe of California's Shark Lab tells us that luckily for those in the water, this doesn't actually mean more shark attacks.
So we don't necessarily see a big correlation between shark bites and strong El Ninos. What we do see are more sharks.
So many that...
So there's a shark right there swimming behind you.
See it? Right behind me. Look at that.
There were several swimming by during our interview today with Carlos.
This is life every day right now. This summer is insane.
Liz Kreutz, NBC News.
And of course, we're here in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner from Sharks, but we want to turn our attention to something that's really sharky coming our way. That's rainstorm.
Something that could be dangerous, absolutely. So up near the Virginia line in Virginia, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning. We talked about that just a couple of minutes ago. This is moving at about 20-25 miles per hour, almost due east. It doesn't look like it's going to be something that impacts Roxborough, but definitely Mecklenburg County, Virginia right here. This is part of our viewing area. And if you're in Mecklenburg Mecklenburg County, Virginia, you need to just keep paying attention. We will break into programming if we have a tornado warning in our viewing area. That does include Mecklenburg County. So we're watching this very closely. If it does hold together, we will stay with you until this is no longer a threat. So I wanted to let you know the warning, this current warning, which is not in our viewing area, lasts for another about 12 minutes. So we'll keep our eye on it, definitely. We'll check in again with you later on. It's moving through South Boston right now. Just a few light showers in Roxborough. But we take a look at South Hill, and you can see it's very gray. It's breezy. You can see the flag here. No rain falling just yet, but it is awfully gloomy looking right now. Our temperatures are warm, upper 80s. We do have windy conditions. We have breezy conditions, about southwest winds at about 25 miles per hour, gusting higher than that. And of course, we do in our northern counties, including Mecklenburg County and Person County, a level 2 risk for severe storms. That means we could have the potential for some wind damage. And of course, we do have that tornado warning just outside the viewing area. Our southern counties, including the Triangle, having a smaller risk for some wind damage for it today. But again, we'll keep a close eye on it. This cold front will continue to sink southward and bring some heavy rain. And for most of us, that's going to be the biggest threat from this front coming through today, tonight, and all day tomorrow. 2 to 4 inches of rainfall total over the next 24 to 36 hours or so. Notice the flood risk here from Warrenton north and eastward. That's where we have a high risk for flooding. It's a medium risk around the Triangle area northward and a lower risk down south because we won't see as much rain there. By midnight into the early morning hours, especially during the morning commute, it's likely to be very heavy around the Triangle, but even heavier, Smithfield, Goldsboro, Wilson, Rocky Mount, that's where we could have the heaviest rainfall during the day tomorrow. We'll watch our line of thunderstorms gradually sinking southward through the afternoon. By 3 o'clock, it's still north of the Triangle. And then around 5 to 7 during the evening commute, there could be some patchy light rain. But it looks like it could be much heavier during the morning commute. There's 7 a.m. and between 5 and 7, it looks rather heavy. And then it sinks southward and gradually moves out of the viewing area around the time of the evening commute and then into the evening. But still, a few showers could linger late Thursday, Thursday night, and Friday and Saturday. We're not completely free of the potential for rain. All the way through the next 7 days, some parts of the viewing area could see up to 5 inches of rain. It'll be a much cooler day tomorrow with a high of 77 and just 80 on Friday and Saturday.
Yay, bring on those 80s.
Yes, changing the game. The Soccer Federation is building mini pitches across the country. Why a member of the U.S. men's national soccer team says this mission will help diversify the game one goal at a time.
Hey, as we wrap things up, here's a look at some of the headlines we're following here today. Protesters gathering outside the General Assembly today calling for changes to North Carolina's immigration policies. The demonstration comes weeks after a new state law expanded cooperation between state agencies and federal immigration officials. Supporters say the law strengthens public safety. Protesters argue it does the opposite. WRAL is asking agencies how they're implementing the new requirements.
President Trump will attend the dignified transfer of 4 U.S. service members killed in the Middle East today at Dover Air Force Base. The fallen include Fort Bragg Sergeant Michael Swinton, Specialist Tyler Feehan, Specialist Isabella Gonzalez, and Staff Sergeant Jose Duenes Jr. Sergeant Swinton was killed during a controlled detonation of a downed Iranian drone, and Specialist Feehan, assigned to Fort Bragg, was killed in an Iranian missile and drone attack in Jordan.
Brick school leaders say they are working to find out who is responsible for building 3 schools decades ago that are now deemed structurally unsafe. Emergency repairs will cost roughly $5.6 million. Its work isn't done before the school year. They will use bank days, teacher work days, and move students to other locations.
There will be no shortage of Dr. Pepper for a Texas household over the next year. A 12-year-old girl from Waco won a 1-year supply of the soft drink through the Dr. Pepper Museum's annual giveaway. The lucky winner was allowed to choose her favorite flavor, and hers is creamy coconut Dr. Pepper. The museum opened to the public 35 years ago, but the giveaway tradition began in 2019. Dr. Pepper was created in Waco, which is also where the museum is located. I've never had creamy coconut Dr. Pepper.
I don't think I've ever heard of creamy coconut Dr. Pepper.
Interesting.
Cool. Well, the 2026 FIFA World Cup may be over, but soccer is getting a boost in Metro Atlanta with the help of one of the players from Team USA. Midfielder Tyler Adams cut the ribbon on a new mini soccer pitch. The playing surfaces, though, aren't made of green grass. It can be a challenge to maintain, but of a blue hard court. It gives local kids an opportunity to exercise, enjoy time together, and stay on the right track. Adams says these mini pitches are one small step in the right direction.
I think for us as players and as the U.S. national team, that's the biggest goal, is to grow the game, get more kids wanting to play this game. What makes us so special, and what you saw this summer bring so many people together.
The South Fulton pitch is one of 900 built so far by the U.S. Soccer Federation. The organization plans to build at least 1,000 by the end of the year.
Our pet of the day comes to us from Cat Angel's Pet Adoption. Esther here is a beautiful tortoiseshell with soft gray and cream swirls and curious eyes. She will quietly watch from a safe distance until one day she decides you're her person, and then she's all in. Esther would love a calm, patient home. Contact Cat Angel's Pet Adoption if you're interested. NBC News Daily is next on WRAL. Your next local news update in 30 minutes.
Of course, you can get updates anytime on WRAL News app.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 90.